Mr. Hicks, that concludes the requested broadcast forms that I had, so your equipment needs to be taken down at this time.
So I came back here to the Municipal Court on June 25th, and believe it or not, I finally got to film some in Judge Katie Terpstra's courtroom. One of the things that was bizarre is she told me I was on the left side of the courtroom. She told me I needed to go to the right side of the courtroom and set up there to record, which makes no sense. On the right side of the courtroom, the line of sight of the camera across the judge and the lawyers would pick up the jury. There were no jury activities in what I was there for today, but the jury box is there. And one of the rules that's a simple rule is you can't film the jury. She seems to have figured out that attorneys and defendants cannot object to being recorded. So her speech was different this time. She didn't threaten to throw me out of the courtroom or anything as well.
You would not like yourself or your client to be recorded?
I wouldn't like anything. Well, obviously, there is a record, but yes, I wouldn't like that.
Okay.
I got here a little bit after 8. I had requests filled out to record her 8:30 cases, 8:30 to 9:30 cases. There were 8 of them originally, but only 6 were on what was posted at her door. So I turned those in. I tried to turn them in at about 8:11 to the bailiff. He tried to refuse to take them and tell me I needed to file them at the clerk, but I said, nope, you take them. Then I had Tracy Sellers come to me and hassle me in the hallway how you have to file them at the clerk, and I'm like, I already turned them in. I've seen this a lot. Normal media places like WLWT, WCPO, they do the form, they give it to the bailiff, the judge signs the form, and then it gets docketed. But here at the Clermont County Municipal Court, we're going to start a new routine that is just designed to make it difficult for citizens to monitor their elected officials. Let me help this court understand how a quality process would work, which is what pretty much every other court does. If you have a request to record, you get the form that should be downloadable on the website or available in the court. You fill out the form, you give it to the bailiff takes it to the judge signs off on the form, they make a copy of the form, and also they take a sheet that has what are the rules for recording, and they give back that copy and the rules to the person that made the request, and then it gets sent off. The judge's order, remember it's a judge's order to allow recording, and gets docketed at that point in time. That's how a quality, clean system, simple system works. You know, these guys have 8 a year, but Chris Hicks made one, so now they're in a tizzy, have to reinvent the whole process. They had a total, when I did a record request for all of their media requests, they had a total of 6 media requests they returned for the whole first half of 2025. There were 2 that weren't in there that should have been in there that I know of. So one for mine with Judge Beckman, where she granted, and one for Nathan Little that never showed up in that record request. So let's add those on and say there were 8 total requests in the first half of 2025. That would mean that there is one request approximately every 3 weeks. One request every 3 weeks. Apparently they don't know how to deal with requests. They deal with them differently when Chris Hicks comes versus when, say, WLWT comes. They should be treating citizens and traditional journalists and new media journalists exactly the same. Rule 12 does not differentiate on who has rights to record in front of a court. You do just as much as I do, just as much as WCPO does. So I'm going to play side by side an excerpt from what I could record today in Katie Terpstra's courtroom versus what I recorded on June 5th in Anita Beckman's courtroom. It both involves a perp being before him, and I just want you to compare the amount of connection, the amount of compassion, the amount of engagement of Katie Terpstra versus Anita Beckman in these 2 cases. Now, all cases are different, but I think it's important that a judge be able to interact with people in a compelling way that might get them on a better path.
A longer term of community control, or I can impose all or any part of the suspended 150 jail days. Do you understand that? Yes. Good luck to you, Ms. Brand. Check in with the clerk and then stop in probation before you leave today, all right? Good luck to you.
It's not about getting it out of the way, it's about you stopping, stealing, and trespassing. You've had 11 charges filed this year alone. I mean, what's that got to do with you committing crimes? You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 charges last year.
So you saw there Judge Beckman engage directly with the person, talk about what caused this to happen, why it keeps happening. On the other hand, you saw Judge Terpstra no talking with the person about their situation or how this happened again when the person had kids and so forth.